All right, so I am here with Mike Simmons at Burn the Ships CrossFit. He is the owner, operator, CEO, COO, whatever you want to call yourself.
Sounds good.
Very great coach, phenomenal athlete, and I am doing my interview for Intro to Exercise Science with him. So basic questions. I went generic, but also just normal questions. Feel free to answer as much as you want. We have a class of young individuals that want to learn the most from you.
Awesome.
So first question would just be, what made you choose this career, basically in exercise science, how you felt you wanted to go down that road?
Okay. So I had always been an athlete most of my life. I started out as a phys ed major for education. I started to kind of get a little done with the repetitiveness of it, and I always had an interest in biology, so I figured I still like the education side. So I got my degree, and I have a full biology degree, and then I have my education credits behind it. And I said if I never want to continue teaching, I could go into the biology field, work in a lab, do stuff like that. So I kind of merged the two. I always kind of knew I would be a teacher. I kind of fit in that helper personality, whether it was going to be, a nurse or whatever. It's just I always felt like I liked helping people, and education seemed like a good fit for that. I was into sports, but I didn't kind of want to be just the gym teacher, kind of just standing around watching people. I kind of like getting my hands dirty a little bit, so I kind of went with the biology degree. And then I coached for a bunch of years, and that kind of got me into the CrossFit side of it. And then things kind of opened up where I could open up my own place, and I was not able to coach anymore on the high school level, so this kind of fit both of those needs. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's got a little of the biology side of it, the mechanics of the body, the movement, like how to make people move correctly. I mean, one of CrossFit's big things are mechanics, consistency, and then intensity. So you kind of have to know quite a bit about the body for people to move correctly. And then you have the coaching aspect of it, which is kind of getting people to want to move the right way and how it'll help them down the road.
Right. That's phenomenal. 4-year biology?
Yep, full bio. So East Stroudsburg. I messed up a couple of classes when I was being goofy. So did the whole fraternity
Everybody
route.
does that.
The fraternity route. Messed up, took all those classes over, but I missed it by like 3 classes, so I stayed the extra summer.
Okay.
I got
well,
my
at least
last
you got out in the summer.
Yeah, so I have the full education degree and I have the full biology degree.
Awesome.
And then the master's on top of that.
Wow.
A lot of credits, people.
Got me beat. Before you went into this field, obviously you're a teacher at Fort Jervis, but before you decided to become a coach in this field, what other careers before your biology and everything did you consider, if you consider that?
Yeah, so I don't know if you can tell by the haircut, I was never in the armed services like you, sir. Thank you for your service. But the military, so my dad was kind of one of those, he was a Navy man, and I had 2 choices. I was either going to be in the service, so either cop, service, or teacher. So somewhere still on the helper side of things, but definitely I probably could only see those 3 things.
Yeah, awesome. You already told us about your educational background.
Sorry.
Go right past that one. What are the positives and negatives to owning your own CrossFit gym during your time being coach?
It's a great question. So the negatives right off the bat are time with family. So I am not a full-time business owner, so we run a different business model. I have all part-time coaches. I have no one who's on staff. So all of us do this as a second career. So I teach full-time as a high school teacher. We do this as our side hustle. So this is outside of the school day, which is basically a bookends the work day. So our coaches are all either here before work or we're all here after work. And that after work time period is where it's toughest to be with family and stuff like that. So it's a struggle. So that's probably the biggest negative. The biggest positive is if you're a helper personality and you want to talk about helping the most amount of people, it's opening a business where even just walking through the door, they're already becoming better people. And not only on the physical side of it, the mental aspect, and that's what it's kind of drawn me into CrossFit, is the change that really happens between the ears is really what's phenomenal. Because then once they figure that out, they're unstoppable. Like they're just a different human being.
Right. I can contest it. It works very well at this gym. What are any certifications and licenses you might need or you do have to open a CrossFit gym on your own?
So the CrossFit model, to open a CrossFit affiliate, you have to be level 1 certified, which is basically the basic rudimentary knowledge of the squat, the press, the deadlift, finding flaws in people's movements and trying to help them. So it's a really very rudimentary knowledge, what you would see in an exercise science class, how the body moves, faults in their movement, the energy pathways, glycolytic, phosphagen, all that stuff. So you have to have a level 1. I have a level 1, a level 2, CrossFit gymnastics, and a USA weightlifting. So we kind of, if you believe in, some of the stuff they teach in college kids does actually come around. I hate to say it, but they are right. You do need to be a lifelong learner. So you want to stay one step ahead of the curve. So we went to CrossFit gymnastics, which was awesome. We went to the weightlifting side. A couple of our guys went to USA 1 weightlifting, which was awesome. And kind of just grow your own knowledge base, because if you're an athlete, if you have any interest in this, you want to be better,
right? And
then by proxy, your clients automatically get better. Just even if it's just one tidbit here or there, here do this, here try this, really is helpful.
Which one do you think? I know use all of them combined, you're phenomenal. But if you only had to choose one certificate that you have, or something that you don't have,
right?
Which one do you think would be the one most important to you to be a coach?
Probably the CrossFit level 2.
CrossFit level 2.
Yeah, it was the most in-depth on coaching the class. So a lot of how to pull back, and instead of being, and it goes a lot with teaching too, instead of being the teacher-centered model, it becomes more the student-centered model. Like if I'm up and I'm showing a power snatch in the front of class, and I do 15 reps and the class does 3, that's not a good ratio.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I got flagged on right away. They said, hey, you move great, but why are you doing 15 reps and the class is doing 3? Right. So how are you going to see them move and get them warm and fix the flaws in their movement if you're the one moving all the time? So I picked up a lot from that level 2 about how to get the class to move more and me do less. And not teach less, but show them, but then correct them on the move.
Right.
That was a big help.
Do you have any nutrition? I know your wife has.
Yep.
So
I started the model, so I field tested it.
Right.
We went with the MVP, kind of like they do in the tech world. We went minimum viable product. We said, this is what we're offering. We're trying it out. I gave it away for free for the first couple members that signed up. I said, this is what we're doing. This is what we've learned over the last 7 years of doing this. In Pennsylvania, you don't need a license to do that. So I know in Jersey, they're trying to pass a law that you have to be a certified nutritionist to do that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do that in Pennsylvania. You can give friendly advice and charge for it. So that's what we did. We only charged $50. It's like $50 a month. This is what we do. This is what worked for us. What didn't work for us. And really what we found in the essence of all of that, and then I passed it on to my wife. People just want accountability. Really, it was like they had to answer somebody. Yeah. If they ate McDonald's and they had to write it in MyFitnessPal, they had to answer to me on their weekly email, and I said, "What are you doing? You can't out trade a crappy diet, right? There's 2 wheels on the bicycle."
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So that was we learned that very quickly, and then we started getting a little more into the nitty gritty of figuring out how to calculate macros, and then doing a little more stuff like that. So my wife's going to go to Precision Nutrition, which we found was pretty cool.
Right. Is there like a website that you would recommend to any of the upcomers here that helped you, like a free one that you don't have to buy into, that can give you like a base guideline for building a nutrition plan?
I think any of it. Basically what we recommend is whole foods eating. I mean, we started with a paleo challenge. We did a whole 30 challenge. We're doing the 800 gram challenge now. And that gives everybody a rudimentary knowledge of whole foods. You want me to save your life, kids? Here you go. Eat a plant or an animal. I mean, it's about the most simple thing I can offer you. There you go. I just saved your life. Like if it comes in a box or a bag, it's probably not good. If it was made by man, it's probably not good.
Yeah.
If it rots when it sits on your shelf, it's probably a good thing to eat.
Yeah. Rotting is good. Mold is good.
Yeah.
Mold is good. Here's a circus question. Have you had a bad experience with a client before that kind of left you like scratching your head? Like, why did that just happen? Disgruntled customer of any kind? It's kind of hard to imagine happening here, but
I had one guy leave that kind of left on a bad note. we weren't seeing eye to eye. He had an issue with his membership. He said, you know, like he thought he canceled with me. He said he did. I said he didn't. Our rule was, you know, if you sign up for 6 months, you got to pay for 6 months. So he went to his credit card company behind my back.
Turned it off.
Got it shut. Yeah. Well, he got them to pull the money back. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that got
That's
it got a little weird. Most of the people we can tactfully resolve any conflict about, you know, not seeing eye to eye, or you know, if they're not on the right plan, to get them on the right plan, or hey, I got to take a break. You know, I paid for a year, but you know, I broke my wrist. Can I have 2 months off? We're pretty much understanding of that. As long as nobody's trying to take advantage of us, we're pretty understanding.
Circus question. I just
No,
throw it in
that's
there,
good.
see if you
You
have
got
some.
it.
For a new beginner, how do you start somebody when they first come in here? So now, to sell yourself to somebody who's never worked out, somebody that is worried about getting injured in that, what do you have systems in place when you're talking to these people to bring them in and be comfortable with you?
Absolutely, 100%. So we field tested 2 different models. So we had an on-ramp program, which was a 3-week program where you had to complete 9 classes to then get into general population, become part of the class system. We found that did not work for us at all.
Right.
It was so hard to get these people scheduled. They canceled one, it pushed them back.
Yeah,
So
specific classes.
Yeah, those 9 classes to the on-ramp program took forever. So as a business model, that did not work for us. We do now 1 class, we show you what you were about, and then we make sure that every class that everybody goes to is taught like they're a beginner. So our analogy is like a big leaguer hits off a team.
Right.
They do the basics.
Right.
What's virtuosity? Doing the basics really, really well.
Right.
So they do the basic things really well. So we try to teach the class, or we teach the basics really well. So whether you're day 2 or day 72, we teach the class the same way. Right? And then there's support systems in place where if I know somebody's coming after I did an intro with them, I'm kind of hanging around and keeping an eye on them, or walking them through their next class or 2.
Right.
But most of the time, that's where my instructors are outstanding. Like I give them an autonomy to, you know, scale down this person's workout where they're still getting mechanics, consistency, intensity. They're still doing the same movements, but they're not doing them at the intensity level that the next person is.
Right. Yeah. Scaling down.
Yeah.
This is the last question. This is definitely directed towards you. Of all the goals you've achieved so far in this field, is there still one that you're striving for right now that you know is attainable, that you want sitting in the back of your mind? Right
Absolutely. So this has been crystal for me for a while. So I don't know if this is personal to me. I want to come in to a Saturday class, and I want to have somebody not know who I am. I want my loops of people who are joining my gym. So like, if you guys study anything about the levels of leadership, it's like first people listen to you because you're their boss.
Yes.
Second, people listen to you because they believe in what you're doing.
Yep.
And then like you're the coach of Nick Saban in Alabama, like people would run through a brick wall because you're Nick Saban from Alabama. They want to be part of BTS. So I want people to come to this gym because A, they've heard about what we're about, what we stand for, and I don't want them to come here because they know me or they're a friend of Mike Simmons.
Yep.
I want them to come to my gym because what they've heard about us, what the institution stands for.
Yes.
So I want to walk in on a Saturday and have somebody say, "Hi, what's your name?" and not know that I'm the owner of the gym.
So simple. You're saying it to me makes me like, yeah, that is great. That is such a fantastic goal, without a doubt.
I'm glad you asked me that question because that one's been sitting in my mind for a long time.
But so that was my interview with Mike Simmons. Simmons, owner operator of Burn the Ships CrossFit. If you're ever up here, come on down. It's a great place.
Drop
Can
in.
vouch for
First class is free.
Yeah, you can't. That's a great deal right there.
Thanks for your time, guys. I hope you learned something.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Yep, have a great day.
That was awesome.